Alright guys, I got a Mazda 6 here. I'm not sure what year this is, but let's figure this one out. This is 2009 Mazda. We have a large coolant leak and it's smoking back over here. There's a whole bunch of antifreeze, all that on there. As you can see, all that on there. There's a lot of antifreeze on there. But you see this coolant pipe going up here? It connects to one big housing right there. And check this out. If you look straight from down here, so pretty much if you have a coolant leak in this area, it's pretty much the housing gotta go, okay? So check this out. So as soon as I pump this, you see that? Look at that. Oh my God. All right, so you saw that. So the whole housing gotta go. We're gonna find the whole piece and the seals are all is gone. Anyway, so we're gonna do this job together, okay? All this is gonna be one big mess over here. The battery tray, all this is gonna have to come out. Whole bunch of pipes connected to it, heater core pipes. All right, and it connects to the engine block. All right, guys, it's Monday morning. Got the Mazda 6. It's a 2009 model. So the piece that's leaking is called the coolant temp sensor housing. It has a coolant sensor into the hole. I do have the new piece here, so this is the piece we're looking at. You see that big hole? That's where the coolant sensor goes into. So that's where it reads out everything. So we got 1 pipe, 2 pipe, 3 pipe, 4 pipe, and this is where it's leaking from, this seal right there. So it's sitting in the car like that. And okay, no, I'm sorry, it's sitting like that on the car, just like that. It's sitting just in that direction. And then you have a whole bunch of screws on the top. There's a plate on the top, and that's everything in there that goes in there. And there's a small little hole opening here. I just want to see what that is. Okay, that's nothing. Okay, that's where the bolt goes through. So it's held in by 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, but we do need to take out everything. Everything has to come apart, okay? So what we're doing here is, first of all, we took out the battery, and the customer did kill this car, and they connected the jumper wrong way, and there's a problem with this car starting. I'm going to show you exactly what that is. So we took off this to take out the battery. This is the battery holder. Then you have on the tray, you have a number 10, and a number 10. Once you have all that out, you do have this little guy right here holding the harness here, and the only way to get that out is you can pop that open. And let's remove this. I put all of my bolts right here, nuts and bolts. And then we have to take off everything, all these connectors. We're gonna disconnect everything. So this is very simple. You just push on these tabs and these connectors will come out. And then take off this number 10, this vacuum. This is all vacuum in here. You could take this whole thing. You could disconnect these pipes if you like. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna disconnect the pipes, put them to the side, and push everything away. And then you have a number 10 over here. Then you have a number 10 here and a number 10 over here. So this plate should come off, but all these hoses are sitting, all of them are sitting on it. You can open up all this simply by pulling on these little clips, and these hoses will come apart. So that's out of the way, but we still need to take off everything over here. These evap, purge valves, everything has to come off. So once I have everything off, I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. And then it has metal. There's gonna be 2 little metal brackets. There's gonna be another one that's held in on top of this by a whole bunch of little torque screws. All right, so let me get this thing going, and then we're gonna continue. But let me give you a part number on this. So I have this doorman. This is like a $90 piece, and there's the part number. It's called the water outlet, but a thermostat housing. I'm sorry, not thermostat. A coolant temp sensor does go in there. Anyways, let's continue. Immediately, once we take off the battery tray, you're gonna have a lot of room. So all I did was I pushed up on this tab here. This thing came out, and the harness pushed away, and the battery tray came right up. But we still got a long way to go. Whole bunch of other stuff we need to. It's pretty much everything's right here. All these sensors gotta go. Okay, so what I did so far is I took off the number 10 from this little guy right here. I took off the hose here, and all this goes out of the way. You got one hose, I stuck it to the corner here, and the other one over here. And now, and I also took off this number 10 for this ground. Very important you put this ground back, or you might have things failing. Anyways, I'm gonna take off the number 10 on the opposite side over here also. and hopefully this bracket start to move, and then we could just take off these sensors or just push them to the side. Pretty long letter number 10 there, and my socket is stuck. Okay, that's that little guy right here. Let's put this to the side somewhere here, and I think we have another bolt. Okay, there's a number 10 right here also. So there's a number 10 right there that's holding that also. So let's get that ratchet again. So once it's loose, then you should be able to just do it by hand. Okay, let's put that to the side. Let's see if this whole bracket start to move. It's moving, but all these vacuum lines are just making it difficult for everything to wiggle around. What's holding it? Okay, this harness is holding it. So all you need to do is you use your needle nose, and some of this stuff will break. It's okay. So if it does break, so there's like a little clip here. You could go through the back end and remove it, push it out. Okay, there you go. There you go. Much better. And all we need to do is take off this harness from every single little spot. Or what you want to do is you can squeeze the back end over here and remove both of these little sensors. So what we're gonna do is let me just get all this out. I'm sure you guys can either break this off, because they most likely are gonna break, or you could squeeze them from the back. Once you have all this out, this bracket will come out. Then you need to work on this. Be careful with these solenoids. Very important, you do not break any of these solenoids. So let's get this job going. Okay, it took me 10 seconds to get this thing out. So all I did was put this away. I did not break any of these little clips on these little lines, but I just disconnected both of these sensors, and the whole thing just goes out of the way. So what I'm gonna do next is, it's pretty much visual, right? It's looking right at us right now. So we do have a hose here we need to take off. The radiator hose on this side. Let's get my light in there. So the radiator hose right here, that's a big fat radiator hose. This is gonna come off, this is gonna come off, but that's the last thing I'm gonna take off. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna match up a tool here, the torque, and I'm gonna remove this, all four, there's 4 of them. And I'm gonna take this whole thing just like that. Let's just pop this vacuum lines out of here. Just try not to break any of these vacuum lines, okay? Because it's very important. And then we should be able to just lift the whole thing to the side. Okay, I got me this torque. Let me tell you, this is a T25. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna loosen this, and there's 2 in the back. Not just losing them, take them all. I'm just showing you guys. But before that, this harness is gonna make it a little bit difficult for the things to go out. So just pop off this harness, just stick it up. Try not to confuse the connectors. They're different color. They might not even fit in the one to another. But I'm gonna take this one off. It's a little rough, but you're gonna have to manage this one, okay? This one is giving me a hard time here. But take them both off, and once everything is complete, I'm gonna show you how things come off. Okay, so I do have all 4 screws taken out, and check this out. This plate just comes right out. You couldn't just let it sit there because we don't care about this. So everything, we can see the bolts in there already. All right, there's one here, and then you're gonna reach that one from right through the center. It's a number 8. All right, so and the other ones, you're gonna have to fish them. So all 4 has to come out, and I already showed you where they're located on the new part itself. And you see right there, that connector? This is your coolant temp sensor. Even that one looked like it's busted. I'm trying to take out this connector, but I do not see anything. That connector is busted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off all 4 pipes. Once I'm ready to take off all 4 bolts, everything's gonna leak out. Make sure you have buckets down below, and everything is gonna be caught in that bucket. Anyways, I'm gonna show you more further. Alright guys, I'm still working on this car. So far I got, let me show you what I got. So far, got this pipe off. The little pipe in the back that connects all the way back over here, I just snapped it off, okay? Because I couldn't get it off. and then I put that one over here. So the radiator hose over here, I even took that one out right here, and I stuck it down here. So I got one little hose left in the bottom. That's the one that goes here, but I can't reach it for any reason. I cannot get that clamp to go down, and there's no flexibility in that pipe. That pipe goes straight into the thermostat housing, or bypasses in the back. But what my plan is to do it here is, I'm gonna try to get the clamp off, or I'm gonna snap it off. I'm gonna try a few things, or I'll take off all 4 bolts and we'll turn the housing around. Let's see what works, and I'm gonna let you know what worked for me. You're not gonna see me do the next part. So next, what I'm gonna do is I am gonna get the 4 bolts out and see if I can reach the bottom clamp down here. It's just a tough spot to get to. Guys, spoke a little too soon. Took me only 30 seconds after the last clip of the video. So I was able to put my needle nose right through here, and I bring the clamp down. It's hard to see. The clamp is almost out of the way. Let me see if I can get my lighting down here. Okay, it's just a dark little spot. You see that? Got the clamp down. Now I just need to pull the pipe down. And that's about it. And then we have 4 bolts. Okay guys, pretty much I got the pipe coming out, and what I'm doing here is I'm taking off the 4 bolts. There's one in the bottom over here. Make sure you keep an eye on the length of the bolt, because you do not want to damage the block. So there's one came from the bottom left. I'm gonna keep it in order, and then I'm gonna go find my second bottom bolt, because the top one I tore it pretty easy, and the housing already is moving around. We still got to take off that sensor, which is just wiggling in there. It'd be a good idea for you to change your sensor, but sometimes the customers don't want that, so we're not gonna touch that. So both bottom bolts are the same length. Maybe they all 4 are the same length, but let's see. Okay, I got this one coming down, but I don't want to drop it. All right, so this bolt, same size so far, same size, and I'm thinking this one right here, the last one, which is I already had pre-loose in there, it's got to be the same length. Let me put my light over here. That should give us more lighting right there. Perfect. And there it comes, the whole housing. I want my bolt out first. Get out of there, bolt. All right, come on, bolt. Fall into my hand. There you go. All 4 bolts, same size. So don't worry about it. You've seen it, and there's our issue. There's the issue right there. That's what was causing the leak right there. And it's just not the seal. The housing itself is bad, and this sensor is also, it's just spinning in there. So we could probably just put this. Okay, it's supposed to spin. There's a retainer here for the sensor. So all we're gonna do is take our needle nose, and we're gonna pull out this sensor, this little retainer right here. Put that, don't lose that, because you're gonna need that. And all right, there's an O-ring here, and there's an O-ring on the housing itself. Is there an O-ring there? Yeah, there's no O-ring there. It's just that sensor has an O-ring right there. If you want, you can put a new one, and always feel it if it's not gonna leak, anything like that. But there's our housing. So to put this all back together, this usually doesn't get that bad, so you can just clean it off. Make sure the surface is nice and flush for the new seal to sit right there. And after that, make sure you clean everything off. And you see this bottom pipe right there? That's the one that gave me big trouble. So what we're gonna do from here on is we're gonna reverse the procedure, but the only problem is, you see this sensor? It's a screw in, and the one we got is not a screw in. It's it goes differently. So that's a problem right there. Big problem. So we're gonna wait. I'm gonna get another piece, or do check out the new piece that I get, or I'll probably get a new sensor. All right, guys, good news. It converts the sensor to a threaded one, so my sensor is coming. So let's do this. We can always put that in. So we're gonna squeeze this connector. I want to pull this sensor out of there and wait for. We're gonna do a whole job because we can easily put the sensor from the back there and tighten it up. But let me get this one out. So we're gonna have to squeeze this little guy really hard and remove the sensor. Okay, so make sure the surface is nice and clean. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna push that pipe in, and then all we have to do is put the clamp in. Even if you want, you can put the clamp in right now. And we need to twist this around. Make sure you get the pipe all the way, okay? You don't want to leave it loose or anything like that. But I think it's a good idea that we get this guy in there right now. That way the job is mostly complete. And make sure you have it into the angle that you want it at. And nothing is bothering. But let's put, okay, so if you're having a hard time, you can even take it out that way if you like. All right, let me grip this on. This guy fell in my face. Why did you do that, little guy? When I had everything going smooth. Okay, try to angle your clamp in the same position that you took it off from. What's going on? Even if you want to switch to like different type of clamp, you can do that right now. It'd be a good idea, because I'm thinking right now. Right now I'm thinking, should I go with this clamp or the other one? Because the other one, you could use a number 8 socket on that and get it to the spot that you want. But I got this right there. Alright. And now, all I need to do is twist it back around. So my clamp is on. And we're going to take our number 8. I do not have torque on these, just to let you know, to be real with you. So let's take this top bolt, put it in there. Don't tighten it all the way. We're gonna get them all for. Make sure you catch the threads evenly, straight and evenly. Got this one. I don't know where the hell my light over here is pointing at. Okay. I don't want to tighten it all the way. We got 2 more to go. One in the bottom on this side. Make sure you catch the threads all the way. And the last one, I can put this one by hand. And now I can spin the threads. Now we're going to tighten it together, guys. So to tighten this, what I like to do is I like to snug one, snug it, snug this one a little bit, snug this one a little bit, and then snug the one on this end a little bit. And now we're gonna just give it good tightening, but try to get them all evenly, okay? You don't want to squeeze one side of the seal and it leaks from the other end. You don't want that. Nice and hand tight. I wish I had torque specs on this little guy. Nice and tight. Once that seal is squeezed in there, it's not going anywhere. And if you have a pump that I showed you earlier in the beginning, when I was pressure testing it, once you're all done, you have the sensor and everything, you can pressure test it. Now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna take this pipe over here, upper radiator hose, stick that in there. Make sure, okay, this clamp was very weird and I used the Weiss grip. That's what I used here. I'm not gonna be able to use that this time. Sorry about the movement on the camera. Oop. Sometimes it's a good idea to bring your clamps facing upward. And like I said, you can always switch to the threaded clamp. Ah, come on. I do have a tool for this, which I don't want to go get over there. There you go. You don't want to work with me, and I don't want to work with you. This clamp is like, it's not like each other. Okay, I think I'm going to have to get my tool. All what we're going to do is, we're going to open up this Weiss even further. This thing has a lock mechanism. That's what kills it. That's what kills everything on this little clamp. Maybe if I can go. Okay, now I got it right on the neck. And I can tighten up my Weiss a little bit more. Squeeze that clamp further. And there you go. We have it right on the spot. Oh, came off. Go back, buddy. Right there. And I'm not going to put these two because I do want to wait for the sensor. And I'm going to leave everything else loose for now. But before we finish out, make sure you clean out the area. So this is like... Okay, remember I broke this little hose off it because I couldn't get my clamp off, but I squeezed the pipe and I'm getting that little insert out of there. There you go. Now I should be able to easily put that on. And I do have a clamp over here which died, so I'm gonna get another clamp for this one. It's gonna be the threaded one. Let's see how that works out. And we do have that third pipe which is sitting over here. And if you want, you can I'm not gonna put that in because it's like one going against the other. So let's leave this job here for now. Alright guys, wait a good hour and a half to get this sensor. So the part number is right there, TX138. I'm using an intermotor. Alright, so inside the box, I already had taken out my sensor here. It was in a small little plastic bag. And I did match up a socket. So you're gonna need a deep number 19mm socket. And let me just make sure this is 19. Yep, number 19. I'm using a half-inch drive ratchet there. So what you're gonna do is, I don't want you to go crazy and I do not want you to break anything, okay? So take it easy. It does have an O-ring, okay? Make sure you pay attention to the O-ring. And we're gonna simply just take this little guy. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna snug it, okay? That's all we're gonna do is snug that little sensor into its spot. That's it. Hand tight. You don't want to break the housing either. And after that, make sure you put your connector on. And it should click just like that. So we're pretty much done here. All we need to do is put in a couple of pipes and we're good to go. Okay, I was gonna use another clamp, but this clamp is still good to me. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this thing on top of that. Then I'm gonna squeeze the clamp. Make sure you don't lock up the clamp, because this is one of those clamps that locks up. And we have that in there. And don't forget, where's our other pipe? Right here. And we're gonna put this, this is the pipe for the heater core. Go straight to the heater core. Let's put this on. After that, I can pressure test it with my vacuum pump. So let me get this on. Same spot. I like to leave it in the same spot. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up my vacuum pump on the opposite side. All right, guys. So what I did was I hooked up my pump here, and it's holding. You don't want to put too much in there either. I usually put like no more than 10, 12, or 15 psi. I do got a little bit more than that today. I wanted to test it, and it's holding perfect. Before I pumped it, everything just came out immediately. Anyways, all right, guys. So let's go on further. We're gonna release the pressure here. See that? That's the pressure I have in there. So this is good. I'm gonna leave my tool there. Let's continue and finish at the job. Remember, now it's a reverse procedure. So what we're gonna do is, the last thing we took off was this little guy, and it had 4 little screws on it. Let's bring that connector out of there. Make sure your vacuum lines are back where they belong. So 4 little screws. They might be tough to get into this spot. Here it is. 1. 2. 3. The one in the back is going to be a little bit tough. So what I'm going to do is I am going to grab my extension and my torque screw here. I'm going to try to get it to the spot. I'll put in the vacuum lines a little bit too early. Alright, I think I should be able to get it back there somehow, some way. And just drop it into the spot where it belongs. There you go. Perfect. And I can use my extension and the tool. These vacuum lines, let me just pop them up, clip them back into the spot. Don't do that. Wait till you're all done. Alright, while I'm at it, I'm not going to take off my tool. And I'm going to try to catch all the threads I can on that little guy. And I'm going to lock it down because I got them, all of them in there. All I need to do is lock them all down. Pretty long. Alright, there you go. Let's lock this one down. This one, they need to make their own threading in there. So you do need to work a little bit with them. Once they catch on, they just go right in. Bam. And get this one in. So first few turns, really it's not doing anything till it grabs on, and then it creates its own threads into the plastic. Bada bing, bada boom, and we got one left on the other side. We're gonna go behind this vacuum line, put our tool on. does have an oil leak from the valve cover gasket. We'll recommend that to the customer. But first, we want to complete this job all the way. Remember, there's a ground we took off. Very important ground. Any grounds you take off, make sure you put them back on. Goes onto the other plate that we had. Perfect. That's done deal. We're gonna put this connector in. Black one on black, brown one on brown, and make sure your vacuum lines are where they're supposed to be at. All right, so what's next? Next, we bring in this bracket. And this bracket sits in a crazy position here. It's gonna go under this onto the housing back there. There's like a little stud over there. And just want to make sure nothing is bothering us over here. The sensor is not gonna get spliced. All right, the harness goes into here. Perfect. So all we have is number 10 here. And then we have, where did the nut go? Where did I put the nut? Okay, it's right here. The nut goes back over here onto the stud back here. Okay, we got that on. Let me get my number 10. We're gonna tighten the number 10 back here. It's already looking like crazy, something difficult. And the number 10 goes here. And before we forget, let's look for our ground. See this ground right here? It goes up in here just like that. And we need our number 10 for that. Perfect. Next step, we're gonna connect this gray connector to gray, black one to black. Okay, that did not click in. There you go, it's clicked in. Perfect. And we're looking for this little guy, which sits just like that. And then we have another one, if I can find it. Number 10 goes here. Let's lock that down. And then we got our vacuum line. This one went under this and it connected here. The second one went up in here. Make sure you put, okay, what I would do is I would go under this. That would be a better. Alright, I guess not. I guess it's gonna have to go up above it. Make sure you put both of these clips back in. I mean the clamps. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, from here on, put your battery tray, put everything back in. Make sure you vacuum test it, and put antifreeze. Okay, 2 gallons of fresh antifreeze. We're probably not gonna need all 2 gallons, but I do need to clean up my system here before we do anything.